sure your rod will just bite already. Holy cow, that was fast. Fish right here, hooked perfectly. We're on, Amanda. We're on. There we go. There we go. What are like this big? Oh, come on. We got him on. What is he? What is he? Oh. This video is brought to you by FWC's Catch a Florida Memory Program. Welcome to another Gale Force Twins episode. Today we are going to be specifically focusing on FWC catch and release techniques. The goal of today is to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to increase the lifespan and survival of your fish after a fun day of catching and releasing. You guys also may have seen we attempted the small fry slam. Now, small fry slam is a catfish, a pinfish, and a grunt all caught in the same day. So if you missed that one, go ahead and check it out. My name's Amanda, Emily's behind the camera, this is Kona, and welcome to our channel, Gale Force Twins. Now, the first tip I'm going to give you when going for catch and release, so whether or not you're going out fishing and you say you definitely want to practice catch and release, or you're going out fishing and you end up catching undersized fish that need to be released, is make sure you're fishing with the right gear. You want to make sure your rod, oh, I just hit a bite already. Holy cow, that was fast. Oh boy, I didn't check my drag. My drag is incredibly loose. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, we already caught a lane snapper. The skunk is off the boat. Okay. First tip, actually, we're gonna use a dehooking tool. We're gonna start there, okay? You ready? I'm ready. Okay. Now, all fish have a slime coat. The slime coat is what protects them from bacteria. It helps them swim. And if we're touching our fish with our hands, with our clothes, with towels, with anything, we're gonna be removing that slime coat. So the goal is not to touch it at all. And I'm gonna use this dehooker. So the dehooker is gonna grab the hook. We dehose to the sky, the line comes straight down. We just give it a little shake. And our fish swam away untouched. Doesn't mean you can't grab a picture, take a minute, hold it up for a photo. So that is one quick catch and release technique, is to use a dehooker. But that was so fast, let me tell you. Make sure you're using the right gear. So if you're gonna go tarpon fishing, shark fishing, don't go out with the small snapper setup, because then, especially with tarpon, you're going to be catching and releasing in all of your tarpon. If you're going out with a tiny setup and you're fighting your tarpon for an hour, 2 hours, way longer than it needs to be fought, the fish is going to get tired out. So you want to make sure that you're getting your fish boat side, taking your quick photo, and doing the release. The faster, the better. I know it's fun to soak it all in, but you can still soak it all in. So just make sure the gear size matches the fish being targeted. The camera is definitely not picking it up, but we actually ran out a total of probably 4 or 5 miles to the patch reefs. We ran out to the patch reefs because at the patch reefs, we were hoping to catch some yellowtails and mangrove snappers. Patch reefs are about, I don't know, Amanda, would you say they're about 3 to 4 miles, 4 to 5 miles from land, but there's a lot of storms offshore. And we anchored and I checked the radar and it was just kind of sketchy. So we ended up coming back into shallower water to catch really some snappers in some shallower water for calmer weather, get away from the storms, fish safer. Right, so let's say the storm did come this way. We're literally a mile from shore. Exactly, and we could get home easily if we needed to. But I want to show you guys now our hooks we're using. Right here we have a circle hook jig, which is really useful when targeting snapper, and here we have a J hook jig. Now you can use both, but the circle hooks are less likely to gut hook your fish. If you can find circle hook jigs, or you can use circle hooks, I would highly recommend that. A circle hook, the fish will swallow it, but because it's a circle, it's gonna come back out and hook them just in the corner of the mouth, making it an easy release. Now a J hook is more likely to gut hook your fish, so if you can, use circle hooks, and even better, use barbless hooks. Now we don't have barbless hooks on the boat today, but what you can do is take a pair of pliers and push that barb back. We can push it down with some pliers, so I'm gonna do that now. Here we have one of our hooks with a barb on it. So what you can do is you come in, you take your pliers right where that barb is, And you just squeeze your pliers. Just squeeze them. Maybe rotate it a little bit, squeeze them again, and just basically what you're doing is you're pushing that barb down. Whoa, that was fast. Okay, ready for your next catch and release tip or technique. Here we go. Whoa, it's a nice lane.
Let's check it out.
Beautiful fish right here. Hooked perfectly in the corner of the mouth because we are using circle hooks today. Guys, you'll have to bear with us, it is a little bit bumpy. Now, if for some reason you do need to grab your fish with your hands, you don't have a dehooker, whatever the situation may be, you want to make sure your hands are wet. Now, my hands are actually already wet, but you can also have your live well ready to go. And especially with snappers, there we go. We're gonna go from the head down. I'm gonna twist the hook, pull it right out. All right, and I'm just gently squeezing my fish with wet hands to eliminate removing too much of that slime coat. Take my fast photo, and now we're gonna release him. Head first, ready? Woo! Head first. That was the next tip, but that was a lively fish. Obviously, we didn't keep him out of the water for long, so he swam away strong and fast. But when you are releasing, you really want to release head first because it's gonna put a big gulp of water through their mouth, through their gills, which is basically like a huge breath of fresh air to them. Another fun fact, or trick, or tip, or whatever you want to call it, and I personally am a big fan of this one, is the landing net. So not only is the landing net good for fish, but it's also good for landing fish, literally why it's called the landing net. Because if you can keep the fish in the water and scoop it up with a net, you're more likely to land it. So let's say you have a really nice mangrove and you are trying to catch dinner. You get a net, guys. I'm telling you, I don't know how many times I've seen fish come off the hook in the process of getting it from the water to the boat. So if you get a nice little net, scoop it up, then you eliminate that split-second possibility that you lose the fish. But let's say you're catching and releasing, or maybe it's a nice grouper and you want to bring it in the boat for a picture or something. You're gonna want to use a rubber knotless landing net. So this net, literally there's no knots in it, and if you could feel it, just imagine you could feel it, it's rubbery. Going down to the bottom. We are targeting lanes today, and lanes, you catch them on the bottom, right Amanda? Yes, exactly. So we have a little bit heavier jigs that are going to the bottom, as opposed to floating in the current. Oh no, he spit it! Did you see that? I did. Already? Yes, nice job. Okay, gotta get the net. Emily, help me bring him into the net.
Oh, he's a little guy, so
little guy. Bring him into the net.
Bring him towards the net.
Get him in the net. Now open your bail.
Now I'm gonna open the bail.
And we can bring our fish into the boat. And something else, same thing, make sure the surfaces you're putting it on are wet. So if you are gonna put your fish on the boat, it is wet. We just don't want the fish touching anything dry. She's gonna carefully, there we go, knotless rubber coated net. That makes that fast and easy. So Emily, you wanna show them the head first technique on this one?
Most definitely. So my hands are wet, very gently hold my fish. I'm just gonna twist the hook in a circular motion, 360 degrees. We are just going to release him head first into
big gulp of air.
Into the water. Here he goes. Big gulp of air. Swims away.
Nice job, Emily, on your lane snapper catch.
Next bait.
Going down on the next bait.
Gotta wait for that bite.
There we go. Missed. Back. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the bail and reel. There we go. There we go. I got my snapper.
We're on, Amanda.
We're on?
We're on.
Bring it up.
Got another one on.
What is it? Got my snapper. Here he is. That was fast. Bring him in the boat. I'm carefully holding my fish loosely with some wet hands. Now I'm holding my fish right now horizontally, and that's very important that you're supporting their body. Now this is a little fish, so I can pretty much do this with one hand. Sometimes you will need 2 hands to do this. I'm also not grabbing their eyes, grabbing their gills, sticking my hand in their mouths, just holding them nice and horizontally, loosely with wet hands, and we're gonna go for another head first release. There we go. I got a bite. 1, 2, 3, close the bail and reel. There we go. I got a fish. Another fish on. Let's bring him in. Oh, it's a yellowtail. How cute. Oh. He released himself. There we go. We got him on. We got him on. What is he? What is he? Oh. What was it? It was a pigfish. What? Yeah, no way. It was like literally like this big. Oh my gosh. Now another tool that you can use is some kind of lip grabbing device. What it does is, well, especially, so this one's very large, which is why I'm not actually putting it on a snapper, because our snappers today are too small. This might actually hurt the fish. But if your fish has teeth or you have a big fish, you can go in, pretend this is the mouth, bottom lip, top lip, just grab right here. And what that does is allows you to hold the fish up here, and then you can support the belly here. And this allows you to hold your fish. You're still eliminating how much you're touching your fish. You don't have to worry about the teeth. Especially sometimes big mangrove snappers have massive teeth, so this kind of works for that as well. I think we've covered quite a few catch and release techniques, and you guys can use these techniques even if you're meat fishing and you're planning on keeping fish, because you're still likely to catch things that are either out of season, undersized, or just unedible that you don't want to eat, and you still need to be throwing fish back. If you guys have any questions on catch and release techniques, or you know, how to properly bring a fish back to life or anything like that, go ahead and drop it in the comments. We want you guys to stay tuned and subscribe, because we do have some more videos like this one coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We want you to get out there, have fun, and stay safe.